Good morning and welcome to YAP. Today I'm joined by myself. My name is Abdel. Thank you for tuning into YAP. And to my left is
Man,
Mr. Lee.
introduced himself first before me.
I had to. Ladies first. Man, everything hurts. We went gym yesterday.
Yes, sir. How do you feel?
Tired.
Every single time we start the podcast, we went gym.
Yeah,
Gym.
just another day. Now it's my first time back in the gym in like 2 weeks, I think.
Oh yeah.
Minus like the weekend, last weekend. But I feel like I don't know. The trainer there just gets more savage every time I go there.
Damn. If only
It's
you could
just
see
like-
this, bro.
Yeah, I feel like
Cut this out, David. We're gonna
yeah.
send it
I feel like every time it's just like I don't know. I don't know if they're jokes, but they just get more like
when you say you're okay, but you're not really okay.
no at all. No.
That's Katy Perry.
It's cool though. Well, I got another like month and 2 days of this stuff to go. You will see a different man in a month and 2 days, hopefully. But no, you've been making progress.
Yeah, slightly.
Like crazy amount of progress.
Slightly.
What's that like? Because I don't.
Oh, just being like consistent and stuff. Like, no 2-week breaks. Hey,
Right.
like
Yeah.
that's just me personally.
Fair.
Now you need to get a good night's sleep, man.
Loki, yes.
Oh God,
Yeah.
like that shit increases. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you do at the gym. If you have like at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
your body will work wonders.
Yeah. I need to
You're on
sleep.
5 hours constantly,
I need to sleep.
20 hours per 5 days.
Yeah. Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I've noticed it recently as well, especially because like when I was sick, I wouldn't sleep for like an extended amount of time. I would just like sleep 3 hours, wake up 4 hours, sleep 3 hours, like all back and forth. Bro, my eyes look dark. You know, that's like the dark circles or something.
Man's on.
What?
Man's got eyeliner built in.
Yeah, man. Anyways, that was the gym talk today. Sponsored by Flex Fitness Newmarket.
Some homies.
Yeah. Do you have any crazy things you want to get off your chest? Any stories? Any?
Yeah,
No
man.
pressure.
So I have had beef to. Nah.
Like, oh man, we had what's it called? I have nothing, but yeah. Do you have anything?
we had what's it called? Oh no, nothing. Actually,
Yeah,
man has to create a story every morning.
yeah. No,
Nice.
I'm done faking stories, guys. You got me.
No more stories, bro.
Half the stories I say are fake. Anyways, okay.
Whoa.
Let's get into it. Let's get the energy up. Squid Game.
Yes, sir.
Squid Game
Season 2
season 2.
announced on a billboard.
Yes. So basically, Netflix announced that Squid Game Part 2, Season 2,
Yeah.
is back.
Have you seen season 1?
No.
Have you not?
No. I'm sorry.
It's kind of mid. Personally, man.
hot take over here.
All I'm saying, man, I've seen a lot of Korean like killing game shows, man.
Yeah.
And Squid Game is just like, it's all right. I recommend you guys watch a show called Alice in Borderland.
Yeah.
Trust. That's a goated show.
Alice in Borderland.
Yeah. Squid Game is inspired by that one. So.
Okay. Because it's interesting because I did watch the first episode and it was kind of emotional. Because, was it not?
I can't remember. It's been a while.
It was like when he's trying to feed something for his daughter. He's trying to feed his daughter, the guy. And he gets punched in his face in the bathroom.
So there's 3 main characters, right?
I don't know. I watched one episode.
All right. So there's 3 main characters, right? There's a gamer dude. He's the main character.
Yeah.
And he's like cracked because all he does is play like games all day, right?
Yeah.
So you know what the premise of this show is about, right?
Yeah.
They're all trapped in a game, and they all like there's like 100 of them, I think.
Is it not 456? For 100?
Oh yeah, something like that. 456,
Yeah.
and they're all marked by a number, right?
Yes.
And each round they have to go through like a game,
Yes.
and if you fail at the game, you die. You
Yeah.
know. So like, and since he's a gamer, he's a crack gamer. All he does is play
Yeah.
games. He's just like really good at it.
What's the hardest challenge you think that you could?
I just described a completely different show.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. When you said 100, my brain went somewhere else. I don't know. Anyway, Squid Game, guys. What's the challenge that you think you have the best chance at completing from the Squid Game?
Definitely not the red light, green light one, man. That shit.
Really?
Nah, bro. Fuck.
I feel like it gets
My
predictable.
body moves without me having to move, bro. Like, my parts do the Harlem Shake without me having to make any motion.
Don't do that. I think the one I want to try, or like, I don't know how hard it is. It seems hard, but like, it can't be that hard. The cookie one, where you have to
Yeah,
like,
the Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
like replica type thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, that'd be hard. Fuck that. if you mess that up, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
boom, bullet through your head. Like,
But then the other challenges are just harder. It's the one where like there's one where you like jump on glass like platforms. And
Yeah.
then that's just like a 50% chance every
not
time.
gonna lie, yeah, that's pretty hard.
And then the other one is like where you jump on the beds and you get chased around.
The beds.
Do you not like get chased around the room or some shit like that?
I can't remember.
Squid Game. Squid Game. Squid
Anyways,
Game.
you guys
Squid
can
Game.
see we're crazy.
No,
here.
but Squid Game, Netflix announced or I guess teased or announced a season 2 of Squid Game. They put up a billboard in somewhere in the world, and it's a white blank billboard with just 3 symbols of the 3 shapes. It was a circle, a triangle, and a square of like signifying Squid Games.
And if you have seen the show, those symbols are on the masks of the different like security guards
Yes,
and things
okay.
that are like looking
Yep.
after the programs and stuff. So it's
Yep.
really symbolic to the show.
Yeah. And I think that like I hate to say this, but like Squid Game is the peak of marketing.
Why so?
So basically, like it's one of the biggest shows of all time. That's a fact, right? Let me cook for it. Let's keep going.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was on the top 10 Netflix shows for like 20 weeks.
Yeah,
I did.
but even that, like, it's just the whole idea of like, looking back when you watch this kind of thing, and when you see the report about this kind of show, and to hear that it's been rejected for almost 10 years. Like people have been, the people that made the show, or the people that wrote the show, were pitching it for 10 straight years to produce it and everything. Imagine like trying to like pitch an idea for 10 years, and then like after 10 years, Netflix goes like, you know what, we'll take a shot at this, and it finally works.
And then it blows up.
But like, not just blows up, like it went fucking crazy.
It went viral.
It went crazy, like all over the internet, all over like merchandise, like all the masks.
man.
They were a big thing for Halloween that
Huge, yeah.
that year. The whole security actually costumes.
That the sound bite.
Yeah, the red light, green light thing.
I saw that on every
Yeah.
TikTok. Like that was
Yeah.
everywhere.
There's that one TikTok that keeps playing in my head when I think of Squid Game. I don't know if you know that guy. It's just like this one guy who like goes up to random people in the mall and he goes like, "Oh, you're the guy from blah blah blah
From
blah."
Squid Game.
Yeah,
Squid
And he
Game.
goes to this like poor innocent Korean lady. He goes like, "Home Se-young from Squid Game, Squid Game. I know that was you." And he goes to hug her and she's so fucking petrified. Bro.
Just racist. Just promote racism.
It's so funny. I hope it's fake, but
I hope it's fake.
if it's not,
If not, there's a poor woman out there who
Yeah.
just got absolutely petrified.
but I think like for Squid Game, just to wrap it up with Squid Game, I think like how like I don't know like try and take it back to 2021. How did it become such a big thing? Because obviously like Korean shows have always been a big thing, or Korean culture has always been a big thing in America, especially.
Well, actually, that like Squid Game was one of the big introductions to like Korean media in the Western market.
in the mainstream, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
how did it go from a big introduction to like becoming everybody's like was the concept that good that like it resonated with people like
I believe it was very different from what was being shown
Yeah.
around the time. If you think about it, it's an elimination killing game.
Yeah.
Where they play basically kid games,
Yeah.
where there's like 500 people locked in a room, and you guys have to play like hopscotch or something, and you get shot dead if you lose.
Yeah.
Like seriously, that's like,
No, yeah, it's
and
actually
that's
tough,
kind of
yeah.
interesting when you think of that premise of that show. That's literally the reason I watched it as well, is that everyone around me was just talking about it.
yeah.
Like I think the word of mouth spread was crazy for
Yeah.
like why it got so massive.
I think one more thing is that like they had, I don't know if that was after it blew up or while it was blowing up, they had like a bunch of in real life like ads or like billboards pop-ups for it.
Yeah.
So like in Sydney they had, do you know the big doll that does the song for like green light, red light? The
Yeah,
thing
that
turns-
shoots them
yeah.
dead. Yeah,
They had that like life-size thing in Sydney
right.
for some reason.
That's cool.
So obviously that like garners attention and stuff. And suddenly, like if you have nothing to do with the show, if you know nothing about the show, you have no Netflix subscription, nothing. It's definitely interesting. Like you don't see that every day, kind of thing.
As well as I feel like that there was just a lot of recognizable things in it. Like that
Yeah.
doll was huge.
Yeah.
The symbols were huge.
Yeah.
Like so you couldn't escape it. The memes were massive.
Yeah.
Of the main character's
Yes,
face where he's
yes.
like he looks like real concerned and stuff. That blew up all over the internet. Like everywhere you go, you would just see something like Squid Games. That was like original brain rot too. Like Squid Games was like a part of that trend. So there was just a lot of things that made it so that increased its like
Yeah.
fame.
I think it's also like it's how simple like the symbols. It's literally a square rectangle, a square triangle, and a circle.
Yeah.
And like now that's synonymous with that show for the next however long.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
only took those three shapes on a random white billboard in the middle of America for people to be like, "Oh, Squid Game."
Also the colors, man. Like
The pink, like
yeah, the pink and
yeah,
green.
yeah,
Like they're very rare colors that
Yeah.
you would see that would be highlighted in like a horror type setting, you know? So it's just there was a lot of things that made it real interesting on why people would want to watch it, you know?
yeah. I think colors are such a interesting thing because like you can grab like a shade of color and make it like your own,
Yeah.
like kind of like Charlie XCX is like that shade of green.
Yeah.
Like
for,
now that's
Brat.
synonymous with her like forever.
Yeah, 100%.
thing.
Like Squid Game's pink.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
saw
it.
the
That's a
pink-
color now. That's a name
Yeah.
of a color kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear it.
All right.
Squid Game.
The peak of marketing.
Squid Game.
So if you ever want to blow up your brand, try and take some notes from this show.
Yeah. No, like for real though, like align some shapes, align some colors, align specific like brand.
Just take the triangle, square,
Brand.
pop it on a mask.
Yeah, do a hexagon maybe. I don't know.
Pentagon.
Pentagon's taken.
dodecagon.
But all right, next, Prada.
I had heard of this before I actually read about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen it on Instagram. Like, so basically, Prada, obviously the luxury fashion brand, has been like doing everything right in the world for the last like let's say 10, almost. I don't know how long they've been around for, but obviously like they're like a vintage like brand. They've been around for ages. But I'm dying. Fuck. I can't breathe.
So Prada, what they did is that they took culturally popular icons in terms of like actors and made them walk, right? But instead they used villains from popular shows.
Yes.
Such as like William Dafoe.
Yeah,
who
so
was
it was
Green Goblin.
Yeah.
You know, he's done many other ones. There's who else was there? There was Tom Holland.
Yep.
There was this guy. There was a guy from Pulp Fiction. I forgot his name.
Yeah, so it was their fall men's 2012 show.
Yeah.
And they had used just the like main antagonist of like the most popular movies for the last like couple of years.
Yeah.
So like when you mentioned like Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, I don't know if any of these names ring a bell to you. Stop when they do. Tim Roth, Adrian Brody,
Yes.
Gary Oldman,
Yes.
Emil Hirsch, Garrett Hedlund, and Jamie Bell.
Yes.
Who are they?
I don't know.
None of them?
I know their names.
Yeah.
And I recognize their face, but I forgot what like.
Fair, okay.
what movies
But
they're
yeah,
from.
they were like antagonists in their movies, kind of like the equivalent of like a Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And they were I want to say like they were the type of actors that when you watch the movie you kind of get attached to the villain,
Yeah.
maybe a little more than the actual protagonist sometimes,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And so basically they had a full show of just like antagonistic characters walking down the fashion runway, and it just made for like a cool auraful show.
And they just like since they're so iconic in like pop culture, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love William Dafoe, man.
Yeah.
He's a goat.
Yeah.
But his like whenever I see his face, he's a villain, you know? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just see the villain in
Yeah.
him, you know?
Yeah.
And so like they used like the kind of dark red.
Yeah.
And then they used the big coats, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
So when they were walking down, it just felt like a villain, you know?
Yeah.
As well as it's just so funny because I think this was really cool because I wouldn't say those actors they're good looking guys, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're models, you know?
No.
By all means, right? So Prada kind of tackled like two
Yeah.
areas, right? Because it showed that it showed that they're aligning with pop culture at the moment.
Yeah.
And like with people that are popular of that moment to show that
Yeah.
Prada is also, you know.
Yeah, I think it was like the perfect crossover. So like
Yeah.
it's like the Avengers but the evil version in
Yeah,
real
exactly.
life kind of thing.
And it's really cool because they're also not what is the word, conventionally like model looking.
Yeah.
Right. So it just shows that like you can be a model and walk. And there's this really funny video of William Dafoe who's in the street, right? He's just like randomly in like New York street.
Doing a fit check.
Yeah, and this guy like
Yeah.
stops him and he's like, "Yo, what are you wearing?" And he's like, "Oh, boots. I found this in my closet."
Yeah. Nah, he's the
It's
ghost.
funny. He was like on Prada, like it's like a model for Prada, and then you just see him in the street like a
Yeah.
few weeks. He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I just grabbed this from my." So it just shows, you know. Anyone
Yeah,
can-
and especially like it was such a success that this show is like still talked about. It's still like one of the most relevant Prada looks
yeah, it's huge.
ever.
It's probably the only show from Prada that I've actually seen.
Same.
Not gonna lie.
Same, like
Yeah.
because I'm an Instagram explore page warrior, and like that's
Mm.
that's some of the things that make it on there.
It was a really good show.
Yeah,
Did numbers for their brand.
yeah, and to think that was back in 2012, that shit is 14 years old,
Yeah.
and it's on my explore page right now.
Yeah, exactly. And
Crazy.
It shows how much of a impact it made.
Yeah, I think also like how when like as you mentioned like their use of the actors or their use of like the cultural icons, their timing is so good. So
Mhm.
like they had Tom Holland in 2022.
Yeah.
Like when you think of like the time, I want you to think of like that's probably when their peak was, like that celebrity or that
Yeah,
person.
And Prada was like delving in because they knew that
Yeah.
person was blowing up crazy. So they
That was like the perfect sweet spot of the timing of like their cultural relevance. So like you had Tom Holland in 2022, you had Frank Ocean in 2020. Like think about how Frank Ocean was big.
Frank
I'm
Ocean
trying to
was
see who else it
huge,
was.
blonde and everything.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix in 1996.
You know?
Willem Dafoe in 2012.
It just shows that like Prada was very aware of what was happening.
Yeah.
Like culturally at that time.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone loves culturally aware brands, you
Yeah.
know, people who are understanding what's going on in the world and things like that.
Yeah.
And as well as it's just creative.
Yeah.
You know, from like a normal just model show, right? I've also seen this other like model show. I don't know if it's Prada or not, right?
Go.
But it showcased where all the models were students in a classroom. And there's
Rings
this
a bell.
huge runway,
Yeah.
right? And then at the front, the guy's like, "Get out of my class."
Yeah.
And it shows all the bad kids like walking away, like walking out of
Yeah.
class. And it just shows like, and I know the theme was bad students or
Yeah.
bad kids. And so it was just everyone walking in different school uniforms
Yeah.
to like showcase like the naughty, mischievous kids they are in school.
That's hard. I like the whole like switching up the place of the model
Yeah.
runway, especially I don't know if it was Balenciaga. I think Balenciaga did it a couple years ago. It was like 2 years ago when they did it like in the middle of the like trade center, like in
Yeah.
between the offices and stuff. Like imagine having like a runway between the office here and having like people walk through it and stuff.
That's cool.
It just looks so crazy.
It's cool when like, you know, shows like that are like more creative. Because
Yeah.
it just makes it more interesting
Yeah.
for the audiences as a whole. To
And also I
appreciate it.
think that like with Prada especially, like when they dive into like using people from pop culture, they go all in.
Mm.
I think a lot of brands, like when they have a show, they wouldn't have a show full of actors. They'd have a show like with a bunch of conventional models, and then they'd chuck in like the odd rapper or so just to bring. And that kind of cheapens the brand, or it kind of looks a little corny. Whereas if you just dive head first into like just using everybody from that category,
Yeah.
you look bolder.
Yeah.
And you look like you took a big step and a huge risk, and it just turned out it was really good for them.
100%.
I think also one more thing is that like Prada has a like when I think Prada, I don't know why in my head it just maybe it's the correlation with the movie The Devil Wears Prada, but it's very like elevated. I feel like
Elevates the brand itself.
yeah
Because of that.
yeah
movie?
like in my head I have Prada above Gucci for some reason. That might be just me, but
No, I probably agree.
yeah,
Like, would you say Prada is considered the villain in like
kind of.
in like, you know?
Prada is the villain of high fashion.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
because lots of people want to be the villain. So
Yeah, exactly.
if they wear Prada, it makes them feel like
No, it doesn't have
the
to be a
villain.
bad thing. Like the whole
No,
being like
it's
a villain.
cool. It's cool. It's really
If
cool.
anything, like usually, especially in recent movies, like we've had a lot of movies where like the main character is the antagonist.
Yeah.
I feel like the antagonist is on the rise.
It's also
of
big
thing.
in like hip hop, I reckon.
Yeah.
That like a lot of rappers rap about Prada.
Yeah.
In like the, you know, if you make it, you're wearing Prada type
Yeah.
shit.
But not as much as like Gucci and Louis Vuitton back in like 2018 to like now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know. I feel like that makes the brand just a bit more elevated than those other contemporaries.
Also, Prada sounds like a a
sounds
villain
hard.
brand.
It sounds
Yeah,
hard.
It sounds.
It sounds
It
hard.
sounds cool. Like
sounds hard.
when I think of the word Prada, I just think of that red.
Yeah, I think like dark red, like
yeah,
blood
exactly.
red
Like
kind of
blood
thing.
red.
Yeah,
You know, like emo red. You know, like let's go, bro.
I feel that. I feel that. With that being said,
I need to
Prada.
go take a shit.
Okay, Prada sponsor the YAP podcast. If you haven't tuned into the YAP podcast, listen to the YAP podcast wherever you listen to the YAP podcast, and subscribe to Your Attention, please. The newsletter. See ya. Goodbye.